joining us today. You are at the webinar with WordStream, BounceExchange, and Datanyze called Capture, Engage, Convert, 10 proven ways to make your marketing or your sales message stand out. And we are going to dive into 3 different major places that you can make your message stand out today. A quick introduction to our speakers. From WordStream, we have Randy. She's one of our greatest paid search strategists, so she'll be here talking about how to stand out on the search results page, and she definitely knows what she's talking about. Randy, how many dollars of ad spend are you managing these days? I can't remember.
Currently, it's around $50,000 a month.
Cool.
Or
50,
so she's, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's an MRR.
50,000.
So about
So she definitely has some great data and analytics to back up what she's saying. Also joining us is Ryan. He's CEO and co-founder of BounceExchange. We did a webinar with those guys recently, and they're awesome, and he's so fun, and so I'm excited for what he's got to share with you. And also Ben, co-founder of Datanyze. So they've got a really great message about nurturing your leads and nurturing your prospects. So we're super glad to have you here as well. I do want to let you guys know that this webinar is being recorded, and I will send an email out with the recording insights to everyone who registered later this afternoon. So look for that email in case you missed anything or if you want to share it with your friends. And before we dive into the content, I want to launch a quick poll so we can get to know you a little bit better. And this question is, what is your biggest lead source? Is that search engine marketing, direct traffic to your website, outbound sales, or something else like paid ads or social media or what? So send in your answers. It looks like a third of you get most of your traffic from search engine marketing. A quarter are coming from direct traffic to your website. 15% outbound sales, and the rest of you have some different channels. So I'm going to show you guys the results here of that poll. Awesome. And our first presenter today is Randy from WordStream, and I just want to tell you guys a quick introduction to our company. For those of you who don't know, we are in the pay-per-click PPC business, and as a company, we've evaluated over 50,000 AdWords accounts and $15 billion of ad spend. So basically, that just means we have data to back up what we are telling you guys today. And we're also recognized as a premier Google AdWords SMB partner, which is new, and it means basically we provide the highest quality service and results for small to mid-sized businesses in AdWords. Also, a lot of you may have heard of Larry Kim. He's our founder and voted #1 PPC expert 2 years running. So that's us, and I'm going to pass you right over to Randy so we can jump in on how to capture leads on the search results page.
Thanks, Kate. So today I wanted to go over 3 main areas in order to make your ads stand out on the search results page and kind of capture more of that audience of the people that are coming in. So the 3 things are how to make your ads bigger, how to make your ads better, and then how as well to promote your sales. So first off is how to make your ads bigger. And the #1 way to do this is, or pretty much the only way to do this, is expanding your ads with ad extensions. The good news is there's a number of different ad extensions available to really customize your ad experience to your client, to your potential clients. First is it expands the ad, like I said. It includes additional information to fit your text ads. It helps improve your click-through rate tremendously. And it also allows you to generate and track phone calls from people calling in directly from the ads. So first off, to make your ads bigger, you can see these 2 examples here. We have an ad with a few of the different extensions. You can see how much bigger it takes, those 4 site links there. Then we can also see the second one where it has the phone call extension. So those definitely are taking up more real estate within those search results and definitely providing a lot more information. So this last one within the ads make it bigger, what you can see is all the different potential ad extensions that you can possibly use. And there's a number of different ones. We have seller ratings, which if you have any type of reviews for your products, this shows up, and this can be a huge one. It really builds trust within your client, within your potential clients. The call extensions, which we have in this specific client set up for dynamic, so that you can track the phone calls. I know for this particular client, they're e-commerce, but those phone calls extensions really help to get sales from people that might not have called otherwise. Then we also have the call it extensions, which allow you some additional text to expand upon different sales, different offers that you might have. And we also have the site links, which are similar to the callouts, but they can drive clients, potential clients, to additional pages on the site. You can promote different areas that the people might be interested in. For instance, this is a birthday favor, so we're going to be sending them to different ages, different types of birthday favors, and things like that. And then finally is the review extension. This specific client has a Google Trusted Store, so we are able to use that as kind of a promotion and an extension there to kind of expand upon there.
Well, I think we should be formalizing the in-person thing over here at this time, this quarter.
So the next part is how to make your ads better. So most ads suck, to put it bluntly, and Larry, our founder, is very aware of this fact, and he's spoken to about it a number of different times. So there are a few different ways to make it so your ads don't suck, pretty much. So there are 5 different ways that I recommend using to make your ads better, to make them stand out more just with the text. One is use free whenever possible. Free product tours, free trials, free demos, free white papers, free shipping. Whatever you're able to add there, because free almost, no matter where it is in the ad text, stands out. Also, break up the ad text with characters like the dollar sign or the number sign, because again, it kind of is a little jarring to the eye in order to see those numbers, and they make them, any of the words stand out. As you see here, we have number 1. We switched these over from just regular without the number 1, and all of a sudden, like, our click-through rate doubled. A/B test sales and promotions in the ad copy, sometimes that you can find by putting your different promotions, whether it's free shipping or, mention this ad and get $10 off, something like that. You can really see a boost in performance. And then also the last one, there's a new update within AdWords that allows you to do real-time updates and as well as sales countdowns. The sale countdown is pretty cool. Say you have a sale running for about a month, you can say, 10 days left in the sale, get 15% off. And that kind of gives it a level of urgency, and that allows people to make sure they act on the ads right away. Also, write emotional ads. You can see this, this ad is very emotional. It's talking about infidelity, it's talking about bad marriage, talking about revenge and the feeling, and it stands right out from the rest of your ads. And as the test with this click-through rate was 6 times higher than the average. So you're going to want to, you know, you can see all these, just divorce lawyer, divorce lawyer, divorce lawyer, lawyer. That emotional ad with the, you know, about the cheating husband and the mistress is going to definitely get people's attention when all the other ads are the same. So any type of emotion that you can use is really important, whether it's awe, anger, laughter, you know, make a funny, cute little ad, joy, empathy, you know, instead of, you know, is your husband cheating, for a divorce lawyer, maybe you can do, you know, we feel your pain, divorce is a struggle, divorce is hard. Emotional pleas and emotional ads are definitely going to help stand out. And then the last area is promoting your sales. And this is a little bit more towards e-commerce and PLAs. So you're able to do this new extension within the shopping results called Google Promoted Promotions. And it allows you to have any coupon codes that you might have, any sales, whether it's for all of your products or specific products, right within the search results for within shopping. So you can see here we have the search result. You get that little tag that says special offer. They click on it. You have the coupon code right there. And then if you go into the actual shopping, it again tells you 2 special offers, and it has the codes right there. One advertiser was using the shopping promotions, and within a month, conversions jumped to 36%, and the cost per acquisition dropped by 25%. And it's only gotten better from there. We've seen month-over-month improvement with that. And really the only major change was starting to use the promotions, which they've always run the promotions, just people weren't utilizing them because they didn't know about them. And now they knew about them, and we were able to compete with some of the bigger retailers that they were going against.
Great. Thank you so much, Randy. This is great information. One of the things we wanted to let you know are already advertising on the search results page, that you can visit these 2 links and grade your performance. And this is just a free tool to let you know how you're doing and find out where your personal areas for improvement are. So feel free to check out those links. I'll throw them in the chat box for you. And now over to Ryan.
All right, it's time to convert. So, yeah, let's go to the BounceExchange slide. So the quick little bit about us. So our goal with our software is to maximize your conversion revenue, and we do this by reading people's digital body language. And this is actually a good transition from PPC over to conversion. And let's go to the next slide. So before I get into kind of my little presentation here, one of the big issues we see with all of our clients is they're doing a lot of testing on their PPC ads. Them or their agency is doing that. And they come up with a lot of good stuff. So obviously you have your campaigns, you have your ad groups, and then you're writing all this ad copy, and sometimes you're emotional, sometimes you use the word free. You figure out what works, and then you optimize towards it. But then the landing page just stays static. Or you'll have like one landing page, you'll have so many different keyword clusters and ad groups and even campaigns go into the same landing page. And you've optimized your paid search, but once people get on the site, there's a complete drop-off. You lose the scent trail completely. So yeah, and click over to the next slide for a second. And one thing we want you to do, and this is about building compliance momentum. So I'll get into this in a moment. What we want you to do is just continue that scent trail. If you figure out something good, some language that works really well in the PPC ad, you want to continue that language on your website. And sometimes it's not feasible to build 100 landing pages because it's much easier to write different ads. That's one thing we do for our clients. We'll look at like, okay, people are coming in from the ad group and you've optimized towards this ad copy. Let's continue that messaging when they get to the site. And that not only reduces the bounce rate, that just gets more people to convert because that's what the thing that ultimately matters. And on this slide, things that we've been doing a lot, and go back, yeah, keep staying on that slide for a second. Things that we've been doing a lot, especially in overlays, is asking people questions. And we want to we want it to appear that we're offering something, we're offering the visitor something of value instead of taking something from them. Like everyone has probably either seen pop-ups or tried pop-ups or overlays on their website, and almost always they kind of ask you, like, here, give us your email, we're going to start spamming you. This is why it's not working that well for you. So when you kind of take it back from a visitor's perspective and you just ask them a simple question, so in this case with a Sephora brand that we work with, hey, want to try our best-selling moisturizer for free, and going back to the word free here, and then there's a yes question. So it's a yes, I want that. And if someone says yes, then we give them the opportunity, like, hey, enter your email below, and we'll send you information about this. And then we keep the momentum going. What we found is by asking people questions, they're a lot more likely to say yes to that. And once someone clicks that yes button, that's a very, very small commitment they're making. Once they make that small commitment, then they're so much more likely to enter their email than if we just said, like, hey, want this sheer transformation moisturizer? Enter your email here, right? But by asking the question, actually creating another step, which technically seems like we're adding friction to the process, but we're really taking it away. So then we're building compliance momentum. And if anyone's read the Robert Cialdini book, Psychology of Persuasion, this is one of the big principles of it. And we've discovered this very early on. So do things that are good for the visitors, that benefit the visitor, get them to make a very small commitment, and then they're more likely to move forward. So, and even in this case, we're not even trying to get them to make a purchase right now. We're trying to just get their email, because we know if we get their email, we can continue the conversation, and they're much more likely to buy. And now go to the next slide. Okay, so being realistic, right? We've seen it on every e-commerce site. Every single item's on sale. Every single item's 70% off. Once you do that, people don't trust you anymore. People don't believe it. And the main point of this is people are not stupid. So we're running a whole bunch of tests, and we consistently got the same results. When people run emails, newsletters, they typically run deals that are pretty high. Sometimes they do run over 50% off, or even up to 75% off. But when we tell people they can get access to deals up to like 70% off, or 57% in this case, no one signs up. It's like, When it's like up to a smaller amount, it's a more realistic amount. That gets a much higher opt-in rate and a lot higher conversion rate, and we see this over and over and over again. So once you do something that seems too good to be true, or infomercially, it's just not going to work. So don't assume your visitors are stupid. Okay, and I was talking about digital body language before. This is like our favorite thing. So when we look at a conversion funnel, we break it down to a whole bunch of little micro steps. So it's not just like, hey, let's look at the checkout process. Let's look at bounce rate. Let's look at people who make it to a product page and add to cart. No, we'll look at a product page, and then we'll break that down to a whole bunch of little steps. Like, okay, what's the goal of a product page? Well, you want more people to add to cart. Well, what are the behaviors that make up from visitors that get them to add to cart? We find that they look at a lot of the images. They click the thumbnails. That's a behavior. A lot of people, sometimes in your process, you're forced to select the size, or you have different options, either color options or different options in the product. So people look through those things. If reviews are good, that's a big factor. Sometimes the description's a big factor. So we'll look at like kind of what makes up the behavior of people adding to cart, and then instead of trying to say like, hey, add to cart right now, let's get more people to just look at the images. Let's get people to look at the image slideshow. Let's get people to look at the other styles that are available and start exploring that. If there's great reviews, our technology will detect that there's really good reviews, and we'll recommend they read reviews. Because a lot of times, like when you put up a new product, there's no reviews, and that's negative social proof. So whatever's important for that product, like think about your product page in a different light. Think about it like, okay, what do we want people to do? We want people to add to cart. Okay, what do people do before they add to cart? And then how do you get more people to do those behaviors? So break it up into tiny steps and get more people to do that. Now keep it really simple. Everyone's heard of KISS metrics, and I think a lot of people haven't really thought of what that stands for. So KISS metrics stands for Keep It Simple, Stupid Metrics, and we like to we like to keep it simple as well. When you add, say, a lot of our campaigns are creating a layer on top of the website, and typically overlays or different things. Even when we do stuff inline, the more text, the more distractions, the more imagery you have, the worse it does. So visitors, people have like 8 tabs, sometimes even 30 tabs open right now. When they're clicking on a paid result, they're almost never just clicking on your paid result. They're clicking on so many other results there. So I think people, when they're designing their site, assume that everyone's reading everything and they're engaging in their site, they're having a good time. But you know, when you look at the data, you have high bounce rates, you have low conversion rates, or conversion rates that are, or at least like 95% of people are not converting. And the reason is they're very distracted. So you have to eliminate all the extraneous stuff. So we find by having just a really simple message, and if it's imagery, really simple, white backgrounds, that tends to work the best. If you have a website, here's a new trend. There's a new design trend where websites are 100% wide now, and there's imagery goes across the whole thing. From our clients, those websites are actually the lowest converting websites. They feel like more brand or manufacturers' websites, and people don't know that's really a buying experience. So your regular website itself should be a pure white background, and it should have some borders. It should be a fixed width. So whether it's, look at your data, a good width these days is about 1280, because monitors are getting larger and larger, and screen resolutions are getting deeper. But have a white site. Make sure you have clean rails or clean background there too. So keep it simple. And keep it clear. One of the biggest wins we get for our clients is we see that they run promotions, whether it's once a quarter, once a week, or every day, right? They're running some form of sale. Sometimes it's a site-wide sale, sometimes it's for a category, and sometimes it's just like, all right, they have an evergreen incentive, like if you have $150, if you spend $150, you get free shipping or something like that, right? So what we find the issue is like when they have a sale, then they typically will email people on their list, right, which is great, but reality is the people who kind of already purchased from you before, they already converted the highest rate, and they need to know about the sale at least. And then they're driving all this traffic from paid search, and they're typically being driven to category pages, sometimes product pages, and they don't know about the sale at all. Or if they do know, it's like in a small tiny zone. And you're spending all this money for traffic that you want to become customers, and you want to get them to buy from you over and over again, but yet you're catering only towards the people, or exclusively towards the people who've already bought from you before. And maybe you'll put something on the homepage rotator, but the reality is you're not driving your kind of top of the funnel paid search to your homepage, or at least you shouldn't be. And we find on average it's about 85% of people never even on your website never even make it to the homepage, and it's over 95% of the people are not on your homepage at any given time. So the solution is you want to make things really clear, and we have what we call a nanobar. We just dock it across the top of the site. We create new real estate. So having a zone and making it clear, like, hey, there's a sale for this category, or there's a site-wide sale happening. Or it's like, hey, if you add this amount, you're going to get free shipping. It's not something really small. It's really big. Make it super, super clear. If there's any question, make it bigger. If you have a question again, make it bigger again. Make stuff bigger. Make it simple. Design it that a senior citizen can read it and understand it, and has to be simple for a kindergartner. So design things for senior citizens and kindergartners, and you'll be okay. Apologize to all the senior citizens out here. Keep a unified message. So we oftentimes ask our clients, or we should be asking all the time, it's kind of not only what makes you unique, but it's like, why shouldn't I just buy stuff from Amazon? Like, why are you in business? So what's the reason, right? And that's the goal. For your website, you got to figure out what's the reason that you're in business. Why don't people just go to your competitors or other places? So if you're e-commerce, like, why don't they buy from Amazon? If you're a publisher, why are people reading on your site? If you're a B2B business, yeah, why are they buying from other solutions? So what's your true value propositions? This is something I actually recommend that you take some stakeholders, some people in your company, just send them a survey. We just did this internally. We got very different answers about our own company, which is really funny because this is what we preach. But figure out, like, why are people truly buying from you? And oftentimes the customer service or the salespeople really know because they speak to clients and customers the most. So when we have a client, we try to kind of extract what's really unique, and then then we try to bring that message forward a little more, because the key to growing an e-commerce business is getting lifetime value. If you can get customers to buy a lot and be repeat customers, that ultimately changes what you can acquire a customer for. That increases that CPA threshold of which you can acquire a new customer. So lifetime value is probably the most important thing if you are an e-commerce company, and also if really any company. So really bringing out what's unique and getting people to buy it under that premise, that's super, super important. So this is just an example of what we do with American Apparel. I think a lot of people forget that they're made in the U.S., but they're sweatshop free, and a lot of stuff we wear is made overseas, and they're made by younger workers. So this is not the case with American Apparel, and we emphasize that. And finally, it's check your CRO stack, conversion optimization stack, right? Okay, so we talked to some people, and anyone who's heard me talk on webinars, you know, I'm a very simple person. I like very basic arithmetic, And if you want to improve your online business, there's only two ways you can do it. So you can either drive more traffic to your website, hopefully qualified, or you can increase the way in which that traffic converts, or increase that revenue per visitor. So even though there's two things, a lot of people don't really take conversion rate optimization very seriously, or for every $92 you spend on acquiring traffic, you're only spending $1 to make you convert better. And sometimes we hear that, like, hey, I have Optimizely, or have Visual Website Optimizer, or I have my A/B testing solution, conversion rate optimization check. No, it's really tough. It's really tough to drive qualified traffic. It's really tough to make your traffic convert better. So we've kind of outlined a whole conversion optimization stack. I'm not going to go through every little thing, but this is something that after the webinar you'll take this, and in some different categories. So, and depending on the business where you are, if you're a small, medium business, or you're an enterprise business, I've laid out different options that our clients use and that we feel are kind of good solutions. So you definitely should have an A/B testing solution, but in addition to that, you should probably have a conversion agency or something to plan out the next 6 months. There's wireframing tools, what you want to do there. We like to kind of plan out landing pages and storyboard them in spreadsheets. There's a good way to do that, and maybe that will be a different webinar. We love looking at heat maps. A lot of people don't know what to do with heat maps. The best thing to do, the basic advice that I give with that is, and you can, in Google Analytics, there's actually heat map stuff too, but if you're using something smaller, lower end, that's more entry level, like a Crazy Egg, it's a really good product, or ClickTail on the enterprise end, just look at the places on your page, your landing page for website, where people are clicking that are not clickable. And then what you got to do is either kind of make them less clickable or make them do something and change your page. Look at what people are clicking that is not clickable. That's the frustrating part for your visitors. Behavioral email is part of the future. That's like printing money. If you can set behavioral email triggers, create marketing automation that way, there's nothing better that you should do, because you spend your time in doing that, then it's automated in the future. So we're big fans of that. We love some of these predictive analytics companies that really help you determine who are your best cohorts, which ad groups or which channels are producing the best quality customers. A lot of our clients just look at the cost to acquire a customer, CPA, or return ad spend. That's wrong. You shouldn't be doing that. It's all about quality customers. That's all you should care about. Get your quality customers and explode on that. And we're big fans of lead capture, so that's what we do. Wistia is great for video hosting. Don't use YouTube for that. No offense, YouTube. There's some great landing page software out there that's really affordable that can do stuff, and some different live chat products. So yeah, check out the stack. Any other questions, feel free to email us after. And that's it for us. Happy converting.
Thank you so much, Ryan. We're so glad to have you here. And before I pass you guys over to Datanyze, I have another question for you. And this is, what is your most important element of lead nurturing? Is this campaign content and messaging, list segmentation, communication between sales and marketing, follow-up cadence and timing? I think at WordStream, we definitely could improve on our list segmentation. That keeps us back sometimes. So keep clicking the poll. It looks like, oh my goodness, almost 2/3 of you are struggling with your campaign content and messaging. So I'm going to close the poll and show you guys those results. And you should be able to see here where you fall. Great. And now I will hand you right over to Ben.
Great, thank you. Appreciate it. So first off, just to introduce Datanyze quickly. Datanyze is an all-in-one sales intelligence platform. We got started by crawling approximately 40 to 50 million domains every single day, see what technologies are being used on those sites, and we can track who's using what technology across all of those domains, the instance they add or drop a certain technology. From there, we go a little bit deeper. We find out lots of great information about all those companies behind those domains. And then we also help sales and marketing people find the right contact, the contact information of the person they want to engage with as well. So to transition back into the context here for the webinar, you've taken the time to now craft that right message on the search results page and on your website. But how do you craft the right message to your newly acquired leads to convert them into opportunities? So as you can see in the next slide here, we've got a quote that says, nurtured leads make 47% larger purchases than non-nurtured leads. So obviously the nurture process is key to increasing your ACV. Now, nearly every company has an email campaign or two in place to nurture new leads, but a lot of these campaigns feel like placeholders. They hope to keep you semi-engaged for a few months with random product-heavy content, and then at some point they deliver the, hey, let's chat email when you least expect it. So the goal of the next 8 minutes or so is going to help you create an effective lead nurturing campaign that prepares your most qualified leads for conversion with sales. So let's get to it. So first things first, and if you could leave it on this slide for a minute here, every new lead gets a buyer persona. So per the definition here, this is a representation of your ideal prospect / customer based on your customer conversion conversations and data analysis. So you might ask, why should you do this? Well, buyer personas will help inform your entire marketing campaign. Everything from which offers to promote, what mediums to use for communication, and even the tone you use in your emails. So in the next slide here, you can see that the key to creating good buyer personas is to be as specific as possible, even if it feels a little strange. So in this example, you notice that you've got the typical stuff in here: role, tasks, goals, and challenges. But the beauty of buyer personas is taking it a step further and asking questions like, what are their daily tasks? What tools do they use? There are companies out there that can tell you this, by the way, wink, wink. Where do they go for information? Do they like to take in content on blogs and news outlets? Or do they actively seek information or post responses on things like Quora? Don't be afraid to get personal either. Finding out how old some people are, your target prospect might be, or are they single or married, or where do they shop, or how many hours a week do they work, or what degree level do they have. All of these things are important data points depending on your market and who you target to create a proper persona. Now in the next set of slides here, once you've created a few buyer personas, it's time to attach these to every step of your inbound funnel. So firstly, at the top of the funnel, your buyer personas will determine the copy of your search ads, the keywords you target in your blog post, and even the type of content you retweet or share on social media. Now in the middle of the funnel, buyer personas should inform what qualifying questions you asked in your forms. How do you design your landing pages? What type of long-form content you provide? For example, webinars, ebooks, templates, etc. Now at the bottom of the funnel, you want to know what type of sales collateral is most likely to affect your lead decision-making process. Is it case studies, sandbox accounts, references, or ROI sheets? You decide this based on how your prospect prefers to vet out new products. Now in the next set of slides, we're going to go through a couple of sample conversion paths for 3 different buyer personas. We'll start out with the seasoned sales executive. As you can see here, we've collected data on the fact that this gentleman is an avid reader of our blog. He's downloaded some of our content, and as a result, we've tasked a sales development rep to follow up to see if we can schedule a demo. In the second conversion path example, we've identified that this person has engaged on our platform like Quora and is a reader of our content. You could move it to that next persona there, our conversion path, please. In this case, we followed up with an offer for a free trial. Now in the final one, if you pop that one open, we can see the initial engagement started with a target ad on LinkedIn, which led to a download of an ebook, and put this candidate into one of our nurturing campaigns, which ended in a demo request result. So on the next slide, let's complete our mock lead nurturing by talking shop on email campaign strategy here. Again, if you're not nurturing your leads yet, here's another conveniently placed stat by my content guy to solidify the importance and benefits of lead nurturing. So next slide here, the question of the day, how do I determine if I follow up manually, high touch, versus automated? Now this can be a doozy, of course, but here's how we like to think about it here. Now in my mind, it's always better to have a rep follow up manually with as many leads as possible to give that personal touch. However, it's not always possible to do so, especially with higher lead volumes. So let's say you're crushing it at the top of the funnel, and you've got about 200 leads a day, and you've got 2 dedicated inbound sales reps We have the bandwidth to contact about 80 of those leads on a daily basis. That leaves you with 120 untouched leads every single day. Now, in this scenario, you want to introduce a lead prioritization process, aka lead scoring, to help these reps know which 80 leads are the most engaged and qualified. So identify your lower priority actions you are tracking, things like content downloads, blog subscriptions, and folks you met at a trade show, for example. Increased priority may be seen for those that download a case study or those that are taking time out to attend webinars, and that's a shout out to you guys that are on the call. And of course, the obvious high priority ones where you certainly want a salesperson following up is your demo requests and your free trials. Go on to the next slide. So here's a nice example of an automated follow-up email. Now in this case, I've taken a Moz subscriber and received an email a few minutes later. What makes it good? Subject line is, welcome to Moz, check out our community perks. It's clear that the content of this email is going, it's clear what the content of this email is going to be, and it's less than 55 characters. Any more would get truncated in your recipient's inbox, and that's obviously not good. Secondly, it's got clear design and clear, concise copy. The spacing is great, and I don't have to read too much here on the email. Next, it gives a nice introduction to Moz's brand mantra. Seeing the semi-nerdy coffee drinking guy may not seem important, but remember, it's all about appealing to your specific buyer persona. And finally, there are multiple ways to engage with Moz. You can check out the blog, you can attend webinars, or you can even submit your blog posts for them to review. Judging by the pronounced call to action at the end, they don't care what you do. They just want you to get involved with the community and strengthen your relationship with their brand. So let's talk about follow-up strategy in the next slide here. So there's a ton out there on when to send follow-up emails, how often, but I want to really dig into the content of these emails. And for content, I really believe the 411 rule created by Twitter applies for email, but I'd like to propose the 311 rule. Now, for every hard sell, for example, asking for a demo conversation, you should send 3 helpful emails that attempt to educate your leads, along with 1 soft sell, which seeks to test the waters, so to speak, on your lead's propensity to convert. Now, a good example of a soft sell would be an invitation to engage with a piece of your content that moves them further down the funnel. So if they subscribe to your blog, offer them an ebook. If they downloaded an ebook, invite them to a webinar. If they attended a webinar, well, I guess you guys will see what happens next. So, to recap all of that, you want to make sure that every new lead gets a buyer persona assigned to them. You want to create a unique conversion path for each person. You want to determine which leads require manual versus automated nurturing. You want to create nurturing emails with concise copy and a clear call to action. And then you want to implement that 311 rule that we referenced for nurturing campaigns. That's about it. Thanks for your time, guys.
Wow, that was really some great information, and I'm actually excited to go implement some of the email strategies myself after this webinar. I want to invite you guys to our next live webinar with the email marketing platform Aweber, and it's about how to use PPC, pay-per-click marketing, to actually grow your email list and get more clicks on your emails. So you can follow that bit.ly link to the register for that webinar next week. And our founder, Larry Kim, will be speaking there. We'll be getting to question and answer in just a second, but I do want to give you guys a couple special offers today as a thank you for attending. And the first would be a one-on-one assessment of your AdWords account with a WordStream Google AdWords certified rep, and we'll just walk you through, where you need some improvement and what you're doing well, and give you some advice. Next, if you'd like a one-on-one demo of WordStream Advisor, and what we do is help you manage Bing or AdWords in just 20 minutes a week. So if you're the busy marketer out there who knows you need to be on the search page but doesn't quite have the time to be a pro at it, this is a platform for you. the next would be to learn more about BounceExchange. And at WordStream, we actually use this tool to help capture leads all over our website and our blog. And it's been so amazingly helpful, and they've been great helping us test and find out what works. So highly, highly recommended. The last is, or second to last, learn more about Datanyze. And you just heard their great expertise in lead nurturing and helping with the sales funnel and reaching out to outbound prospects. So you can also learn a little bit more about them. And finally, if you are all set, don't need any help with your digital marketing, you can click E. All right, so if you have any questions that we can't answer today, those are some ways up here you can contact WordStream, BounceExchange, and Datanyze. And Ryan did have to run. He has a interview with radio or TV or something really exciting like that. So he stepped out, but we do have Randy and we do have Ben here to answer as many questions as they can. So let's get started with our first question. Is coming down to conversion advice. Hopefully you can answer this for us. I know Ryan's gone, but if the discount is above 50%, then how would you publish that discount? Like Ryan said, that might be unbelievable to some people. Any recommendations on what to do, how to promote a discount that is higher than 50%? Randy or Ben?
Yeah, I would think one way that might make it sound a little less too good to be true is doing up to 60% or something like that, to make it sound a little bit more like, oh, it's not necessarily 60%, it's up to, and it might make it sound a little bit more realistic and actually not too good to be true.
Do you think you'd agree with that, Ben?
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Certain you could also tie certain timing or seasonal words around it as well. Things like Black Friday, things like that. Get a lot of discounts are fairly normal around those things. So that's a potential option as well.
Great. Thank you so much for your help with that one. Ben, this is for you. Where could the attendees go to learn more about life cycle marketing?
About life cycle marketing?
Yep. You mentioned that, or was that Ryan who mentioned life cycle marketing?
It might have been Ryan. I would say there's a lot of good sources out there. I mean, HubSpot's certainly a really good source to go to. They've got great content. So does Moz. Kissmetrics, where I started working there before I co-founded Datanyze, has one of the premier blogs in the world around marketing. So I highly suggest checking out those sources as well.
Awesome. I think we're actually coming to a close of our live questions, but you guys still have the contact information up here, and you had some more specific questions about your landing pages for Ryan, so you can reach out to profit@bouncexchange.com or check any of us out at Twitter. Otherwise, I think that's it for today, and look for the slides and recording in your inbox, and thank you so much for joining us, everybody.